from the Berg, and welcome to Corporate Mondays or Money Making Mondays. This is where we talk money moves, we talk careers, we talk positioning, we talk all things money, how to get it, or even sometimes how to lose it. Sometimes how to lose it. And today we have an interesting conversation that we're going to be having. The person with me has tested, I'll call it, both sides of the coin. Usually December's remind us of summer, people who went to make ends meet abroad and then they come to come back home, enjoy their time here. So it is usually a time to shine a light on them. And the ones at home get to feel or think about it. Did we make a mistake? Should we have gone? Is this the life to go? Because we see the Basamas coming and spending all they have. But interesting, my guest today is one who went abroad, studied there, even had an opportunity to stay, but decided to come back home and work from here. How, why, where, when, that is what we're going to be discussing today. And you can head over to the number right below on your screen in case you have any questions regarding this particular topic. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest is Mr. Tembo Jordan Jisleay, a friend, a colleague, and it is my absolute honor to have you this Monday. You are my second guest of the year.
My pleasure. It's good to be here, Stella.
Yeah.
And good morning to our viewer who is out there. Of course, I can't introduce myself again. She has already done the introduction, but still, for purposes of people getting to know me, Tembo Jordan Jisleay, CEO Import, Ocean Star Import and Export Limited.
Yeah. But that is not the only thing you do.
Exactly.
Tell us about the other things.
Other things I do, besides that, you have to have side hustles.
Okay.
So I also do tutoring of Mandarin, that's a Chinese language, and also English, basically. And also in my free time, I do freelance media works in regards to, let's say, photography and videography.
Yeah.
I may call it a small company which exists. And also, other than that, I do other things that we'll get to know along as we have a discussion. Thank you.
Hey, now I'm here wondering what else is there. But let's speak life into that small company that you're saying and say it is big. Videography and photography, let's say it is big. So let's get into this conversation. Jordan, you had the chance to go abroad, to go to China. Meanwhile, how do they say good morning in Mandarin?
Actually, Mandarin we say Zhao Shang Hao. Zhao Shang Hao.
Okay.
That's a greeting. But the normal greeting is Ni Hao.
Yeah,
Like,
that
hello,
is the
ni hao,
common
ni hao.
one that people
But
know.
what happens is, in China, you don't have time to say good morning.
Yeah.
Why? Chinese are busy people. So someone to tell you good morning, they should be knowing you more, unless they're going to ask you what's your name and whatsoever. But usually it's just like ni hao, hello, hello, because people are busy. They don't
Yeah.
have time to waste. Rather than
because-
here in Africa, you find someone is greeting you, wasuzo, tia, erade nyabo, and then you have those like narratives of like even putting their sound.
Yeah.
But their people don't have time for
They
that.
don't have the time
Exactly.
for that. Interesting. So you got a chance to go and study from China.
Exactly.
How long were you there?
I was there for like 2 years and a half.
Okay.
That's from 2018 getting to 2020, around
Okay.
there. But it wasn't quite a lengthier time.
Okay.
And then due to what we all know, COVID-19,
Yeah.
I had to find my way out and save my life. I had to run for my life.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you come back. Had you finished your course at the time?
Actually, yes, I had. No, I was almost finishing up. And then during the COVID times, I had finalized during, let me say, around June 2020 online. So I had to finalize online, not exactly physically.
I remember when we were having the conversation, you were telling us about how you had a chance after COVID was behind, you had a chance to go back. Tell us about that.
Yeah, now after COVID, it's like I had an opportunity. Now, for me, I first went as a student.
Yes.
And getting there as a student, the main goal was to study. But I believe many of our people who travel abroad, you go in the name of studying, of course,
Yeah.
but also you want greener pastures.
Yes.
So I had to also to emphasize on the other point, or I had to think about it, of working. I was never born a teacher.
Okay.
Now, how did I land into teaching? But even before that, from China, in China, if you're a student, it's very hard to get a work permit.
Okay.
They have limitations. They have restrictions. Actually, if someone is out there and you're planning to go to China and you're going as a student and you're not on a master's level, actually they only accept from PhD. From PhD, you can work as you're studying. But
okay.
if you're going for bachelor's degree, you're going for master's. It depends also on the provinces you're in.
Yeah.
So they have limitations. Now, for me, I started from warehouses. Yeah, you go and you have to carry these boxes, you're struggling, you have to sweat. You find your hands, even they have to pain later on because you're trying to work for a certain hour or hours, because remember, you have to go to college, and then later on you sneak into the warehouse. So we used to sneak in. I can call it sneaking in because we're not allowed to do so. And I think even apparently they've gotten even like Chinese, actually they've introduced machines to the kind of jobs or works we are doing in the warehouses. So it was like hands-on for starters, and then later on I had to do IELTS and TOEFL, so I tutor or I teach. Now I started from home teaching.
Okay.
Like
while you were still there?
Yes,
Okay.
while I was still there.
Okay.
Now, after then, it wasn't really easy because some Chinese have that little bit of racism. It's not easy to come and, to get into people's homes, and then you're trying to teach these kids who are looking at your skin and they're like, who is this kind of person? But then later on, I had landed on a good job. I was given a contract. It was for a year, and it was basically now in teaching. But usually when you look at the African continent, Chinese, they believe in South Africans as natives, like native speakers in English. So it wasn't easy for me. So one thing they work on is accent.
Okay.
You don't have accent, you're not going
You're
to
not
teach any
allowed.
Chinese kid.
My God, see how I
it's not
cannot
easy.
work in China.
Yeah, seriously. You're not going to teach with your fake accent.
Yeah.
If you say, for example, good morning, no, they'll never have you. So it has to be good morning. You're talking to these kids, they feel like, yeah, this is a black American, or maybe just, he's black on skin, but something is different in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So interesting. So you have this opportunity, 1 year contract, but then you choose to work in Uganda, to stay, to come back and settle here. Tell me about that decision.
Now, one thing about China, in most of the places, why am I speaking about China? Even it gets to some other countries close, like Vietnam and also Thailand, and even those, or I can say a bit of Ugandans who are there, they can also testify. Now, one thing about China, in most of the places, you work Monday to Monday.
Okay.
You don't know what a weekend is. Now, there you're going to work, of course, and then also there is also a time frame. You feel like, let's say you're a Christian. I am a Christian. I come from a Christian family. So, first of all, there are restrictions in regards to prayer and other things. So you don't have that belonging whereby, on a Sunday I have to go to church.
Yeah.
So if you sign the contract and they tell you have to work, let's say, Monday to Monday, or on a Saturday, on a Sunday, that's the day you have demo classes or demonstration classes to parents. Yes, it's a weekend, and then they want you to prove to other parents who would love to join in their kids. So in your mind, remember, you're tuned to a weekend mode. Actually, in Uganda here, I don't know about other countries, but in our country here, you realize that on a Friday, people say
You already
the
feel
weekend
it
has started.
Yeah.
Actually, you find even on statuses,
Tunyoke.
Tunyoke.
Yeah.
And people are all excited. But there, my friends, I'm telling you, it's not easy. So one thing that was challenging, first of all, was Monday to Monday. Now, they have, like usually during January, getting to February, they have what they call a Chinese holiday, which they get around there, whereby they're expecting their New Year. Actually, for them, they're not yet in the New Year. The world is into the New Year, but for them, they're expecting that. So that's the only holiday they expect. And you realize shops can close. You find warehouses can close. Maybe a bit of supermarkets and a few shops are opened.
Okay.
But then people respect that. So the most difficult thing was like rest. You're working. And then also, too, in addition to that, the demographics of the weather.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get into summer or winter, summer is summer. It's really hot. But down here, you realize our weather. In Africa, Uganda could be amongst the best countries with the best climate. Because here you find it's cool, it's calm, it can rain. but also the weather was challenging.
Yeah.
When it's hot, you need to really have cold water all the times, and the temperatures are like in 40s plus. When it is cold,
Wow.
it is cold. So it's like you're struggling to catch up with that. And then also, one thing was about the time differences. Now, for example, this is Asia.
Yeah.
There are 5 hours ahead of us, whereby, let's say, your brain is tuned. Here it is 6 p.m., there it's around almost midnight. So if you're used of sleeping, let's say, at around 10, so that's like 3 a.m., so your brain struggles. You struggle a lot with the time difference.
But I'm sure you can adapt to that, right?
You can, but it takes time, and not everyone gets to that kind of point. Yeah, so those are some of the reasons why I felt like, no, I
You
need
will
to,
not work here. Okay.
let me get back home. Yeah.
And even as you explain that, I feel like that goes to respect the people who choose to go and work there, to do the odd jobs, to work those long hours, because now you're talking about China, but then we have most of our sisters, of cousins, people are going to the Middle East as the easiest route to working
right.
on Kyeyo, but also the conditions could easily be the same. So it really goes to talk about that. But now, you have given us the bad side of China, or the other end of working away from home. But let's talk about Uganda a little bit. A country where people are looking at it like nothing good is happening, because most people seem to be running away from there. The systems seem to be not operating to what they should. Tell me how you got to see the beauty in Uganda.
What happens, firstly, you can never appreciate Uganda, not until you move out of Uganda. So it means the advantages that are about working overseas in any country, even outside of Uganda, let's even East Africa here, and you're working in Kenya. The most important thing is about the exposure. So you get exposed to the new culture, new people, and all that.
Right.
Now, the challenging bit of it, first of all, when you look at any other country outside your country, cost of living. How are you managing it? Societal way of living. Society, let's say from work, here you can go and catch up with your friends, and that only relaxes your mind. And then two, when you look at how we are making it here, I think I've not done a lot of research, but I've at least traveled a little bit, even around Africa. When you look at our East African community, talk of South Sudan, talk of, let's even Somalia, which has been added, Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, and Congo. When you look at all the capital cities, let's say Juba now, you go to Nairobi, you get to Dar es Salaam or Dodoma, you get to Kigali, you get to Bujumbura, you realize in all these capital cities, Kampala is amongst, I think, the few capital cities in Africa where cost of living is cheap. How? The food. At a cost of 3,000 shillings, anyone can feed.
You can
and you can have a good meal.
Yeah.
I've had friends who have come from Congo, Kinshasa, there are those who have come from Nairobi here. And then someone to have a kilogram of meat as a family. Or let's say chips and chicken. My friend, it means you are a don. It's a big deal. Even someone will take a picture and post it. Why? They're having chips and chicken.
Yeah.
But go down here to our restaurants. Oh my God, meat is everywhere. I mean, you can buy beef. Actually, right now, katogo is ready in most of our restaurants.
Yes.
So you're having a variety. Like, let's say all these are balanced meals. And they're fresh
There
foods.
is nothing that shook me to the core. I don't know if you've experienced this, but do you know downtown,
Exactly.
there are these pieces of chicken
Yeah.
that go for, I think, 2,000 a piece.
Now, I don't know where they get that kind of chicken from, or maybe I don't know where they rear them.
Yeah.
I don't know which kind of like poultry farms they get them from, but you realize it's all over the streets.
Yes.
And that means Omuntu Wawansi can
They
also
can
afford a good meal.
Right.
Not saying they're getting a photocopy of a meal, but it's exactly something nice, and you find it's really interesting.
Right. Any other beauty that you saw while choosing to stay in Uganda and work here?
Okay, I can talk about comfort and also productivity. When I talk about comfort is, you see, when you are down here in Uganda, you know, there is how you're comfortable. First of all, the place is familiar. You're not new. You're not going to ask anyone, where is Mapera building? Where is this place? When you're catching a border, when you're getting into a taxi or getting onto a taxi, it's easy for you to know where you're going and where and what you're going to do there.
And actually, even if you don't know, here you can easily ask.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can easily ask, and someone will be willing to take time off
Yeah.
their whatever they were doing to direct you, go up. Yeah.
And then also in regards to also time saving. Let's say I do a bit of like more than 3 entities of business. If I'm like, for example, I'm into logistics. I do teaching. Once in a while I do emceeing. Once in a while I do my media works. Now, abroad, if I was to be there, I have to focus on a few. I cannot juggle in that. And those who are in here in our nation, you can testify. You can be here on TV, but you know you have a side hustle.
Yeah.
And you have time for it. So you know when to do and when not to do something. So for me, the time factor, actually, it really gives you the comfortability of knowing that, okay, I can teach from this time to this time. At the same time as I'm teaching, so long as I sit on my laptop, there is a client I'm working on. As long as I know they are within or not within, I'm on my laptop, as long as I have my internet, they are purchasing some goods, I can share with them some photos. There is someone who is asking about maybe the course, I'll respond to them. But at the same time, I know that I'm teaching. Now on weekends, I don't teach. So I know on weekends, I can have my free time. But in my free time, I can create also a hustle in there.
Yeah.
So it depends with all that. Because I give you an example. Now in China, if you're working from Monday to Monday, when can you do something else? Let's look at people who are in Europe and America. I haven't had an exposure there, but they can testify. People who are working for more than 18 hours. And you know how much...
Is it possible? I thought for them they are strict on the hours they work and they get to pay them per hour and things like that. I didn't think they could stretch it.
It's not to everyone. It depends on the kind of job you're doing.
Right.
And now that one pushes you to the hours, maybe also to what you're doing. You may find someone is working in a hospital. So if you're working, let's say, for the normal hours, which are 8 to 10, and then you're saying, no, let me push overhead. Let's say if it was supposed to be from 8 to kind of 6 p.m., you push to 10 p.m. But you know what it means working from 8 to 10 p.m.? So these are the people. So lately we have, I know everyone is on social media now. I've watched videos on TikTok. They are kind of funny, but they're showing you the reality. They show you how they work for longer hours. Immediately put your head down. In no minute,
it's time
for work. Why? By 5 a.m. you're up, you're going to work, but then you're struggling. Yeah. So what is it doing to many of our people who are abroad there? It drains the brain. So it means psychologically, it's affecting you. And slowly but surely, this is how you hear, someone has been abroad for 10 years. But the question, what do you have?
Yeah.
So it means someone who is planning to go to, let's say, UAE, Europe, and Asia, if you don't go with a vision, and you carry your body the way you went, you may either come the way you went, or you live even worse.
Yeah, and I wanted us to switch gears and talk about that person who is considering it. We see it here often. We hear of the stories. We read about them. People sell their land. They sell property. Everyone in the chika gets to contribute, they pull their weight so that this person can go abroad for the greener pastures. What should the person who is considering to go for Kyeyo, what should they have in mind? I know you've already given the one point of having a vision and how to achieve it. Any other pointers that you can give them?
Yeah, without a vision, first of all, you don't have a mission. And without a mission, it means you don't know where you're heading or where you're headed. Now, before you sell off your land, your property, or what, let me just give a simple story. I have a friend who was considering traveling to Thailand. There was a teaching job. Now, first of all, you look at the air ticketing. It doesn't go less than 3.5. Let's say just a one-way. And then you look at the visa, which is not so costly. But let's look at the process. That person who is helping them. And then let's say it's an agent, it's an agent or it's a company. So you realize you won't be less than 5M in that preparation. Now the question I have even before we talk about what's needed, let's say you've been given 10M. Stella, you mean you can't start a business? If someone gave you 10M and they just tell you, give me a work plan, can't you or can you?
I think I can, but
Okay,
again,
the question, okay, let's think for the viewer who is out there.
business is the way I'm thinking about it. It is such. It is a risk. What if I don't make it?
You mean traveling abroad is not a risk?
And no, it is a given that job is there. You will be in the Chiyumba, and then the Kamani at the end of the
No,
month
can I
will
tell
come.
you? Okay, I may not say the name. I have a friend who traveled 3 weeks ago. That was in December. But right now they are telling you what they are going through. First of all, I talked about the weather and all that. Of course, they will catch up.
Yeah.
But he's telling me he wants to come back. Things are not exactly what he expected.
Because Gen Zs do not have tough skin. Is he in Gen Z or
Yeah,
a
he's a
millennial?
Gen Z.
Ah,
Yeah.
Gen Z, don't talk about those ones. They do not have tough skin. We see them here every day. They come in and their notion of what work is way different from how we started.
Now,
Don't talk about those ones.
let's get to this. Now, the question you had was, what do you need? What's needed for someone to be out there?
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about this personal travel. Let me give it as testimony. Of course, they had a vision. But if you don't have the trajectory, which is also still under the vision, so if you don't have a projection, and also, too, if you don't have the heart of resilience or perseverance, you're like, at whatever cost, what I'll find there, I'll face it. You're not ready for that. Then 3, you know, by the mere fact you're living your own comfort, actually I call Uganda comfort zone.
Yes.
So long as you're not ready to be uncomfortable, please don't move out. First of all, you're going to go to a place where you don't have relatives. In most cases, you may have relatives in that country, but it's so big, whichever country it may be. But it doesn't mean they have the time for you. And no one will have their time to get to meet you.
Yeah.
We have this fallacy or tendency. When I go to America, I think we shall have time to catch up. People are busy.
Yeah.
No, actually, everyone is just focused. It's only here whereby you can have your busy schedule. But in that busy schedule, you can still fix a friend, a catch-up, a hangout, a birthday party, a kuchala. Even we have excuses. Even you can put in a placement at the workplace. You're like, you know what? On Friday, my sister, my cousin. And when they hear family, you know, they say, okay, you've told us, you've informed us in time, so please, it's okay. Friday, you're off. Abroad, which excuse do you have? Now, let's talk where I was. In China, if you're sick, you have to prove that you're sick beyond you. How? Firstly, you'll not fake it. And 2, you can't fake your location. The technologies will show everywhere you are. This thing of like, you know, here in Africa, in Uganda, where are you? For example, the way I was on my way, I've reached Chibuye. And yet, someone is in Kajansi.
So at work they can trace you?
No, they track you. They just say, send the pin. You chill this pin you took from the other side on their WeChat. WeChat has everything it shows. So it shows directly where you are. You leave the faking. 2, now if you're sick, you have to prove with a medical letter, not by word. Now today is a Monday. I will not speak what or where. But yesterday night, a colleague says, I'm sorry, Jordan. Tomorrow I'll not be at work. I am not feeling well. I have an eye problem.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, sorry. Get well soon. Quick recovery.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. May God heal you. Be well. So, you know, and, you know, it's like someone's like, hey, Bambi. Let's say even they're faking, they're like, this is a good one. Let me go for maybe some hustle I had on a Monday, and they do it. Now, abroad, they will video call you. That's one. So you're in bed. And then in addition to that, they send a supervisor to go and check on you. Now, how are you faking it next time? Again, you're sick? Malaria? There is no malaria there. So stomach ache, what did you eat? So you have to prove certain things. Yeah. You know, here we have a lot of excuses. Someone wakes up in the morning, oh, I've fallen on a border. Oh, I was on a border, and then someone came and knocked us. There is how you can even go and take a picture in an angle.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, even can we send you some support? There are cameras everywhere. Actually, I think in China, it's one of the countries which has the biggest number of cameras more than the population. If the population is 1.5 billion people, they have like 2 billion cameras in every corner. Now here, we have this tendency still. You are working, and then also you know what to do on a certain day. You know what to say. there everything's supposed to be A is A, B is B. So if you have this heart of, which is not of a Christian, now let me be straight because I'm one. So for you have a good tongue, which you can use to lie, to portray something. Please don't travel in such countries. Maybe in the US, I don't know, but it's also still there. They have all the technologies.
If you're used to cutting corners.
Yeah, those shortcuts, they don't work abroad. They don't. So, you know, then in addition to that, if you have a lazy mind, a lazy mind is a lazy body. You know, the power of making money is in the mind. Did you know that?
No.
Poverty is in the mind. It's here. Thus you see, you'll say, Uganda biganye. Kankolechi? Kangende. You mean, okay, how come? I can't talk of the names of the politicians. And someone has said it.
Please do not.
He's not a politician, but he's aspiring. I'll not say his name because I'm not campaigning for him. But how come people are thriving here? That's now my question to the viewer.
Jordan, let me tell you, when we are off air, you and I, we can go down the drain when it comes to that discussion. Why some people are thriving. It's not even why some are thriving. Why there is a huge gap
between those who are making it
and those who are not.
Now, the generation of today, they are lazy. Wait a minute. Let me just cut you short there. Why? Look at how people are taking social media for business. Do you know the effort you put in social media, you can put it in a business? Now, that's the power of the mind. How and why? Now, I can be like, let me be a TikToker. Let me talk about TikTok. Let me leave the YouTube. Then I start making my, you know, let's call it content creator.
And we are seeing like Kasuku.
Yeah, he's making it big.
Yeah.
But time is going to come also that will be cut off. You know, we have generations whereby different trends come up. Yeah. Before, I mean, media was a big deal, you know. And
the TVs
now media is being divided into different sectors.
Yeah.
Now we have the mainstream media, and then we have the social media, and then any other medias. So today the youth, they want to just get food on the phone in terms of like monetary way. And then you're like, yeah, as long as I wake up in the morning, I have my camera, like we have a camera here in the studio, and then you're like, yeah, let me just sit and talk to the people, and then they like the video, they do it, and then of course you find the dollars on your account.
Yeah.
That's the life of today. So now why is there a huge gap? For me, I say the huge gap is that it could be due to the times and seasons. That's one.
Okay.
The cost of living has gone high. Before, you know how much a kilogram of beef used to be, or fish, in the market. Today, for you to afford a kilogram of beef, a kilogram here, whereby I'm saying it's not so costly, you realize it's not like in a family of 10, it's about 3 who can afford that per day or every day, and it's normal. So now why is that there? You find we've also accepted that to be or to happen. Like we've believed. Now we have a tendency, January, I'm telling
even
you,
before it starts,
even
people
before,
are already,
like actually, January started in December. When you look at December, people are like, you know, season, yo. So we have that. So you believe it, by the way. It becomes part of you. And then you realize every person you're connecting to, you're like, we are waiting. We are waiting for, you wait. Let Christmas first go away, or let's first go through the Christmas season. The New Year, oh, God, thank you. Happy New Year, we've gone through. Now January, kids are going back. So we've believed in something. But when you look at the Bible, it gets back to the book of Exodus and other books, more especially in the Old Testament. God has given human nature the power of decision. I've ever asked someone, and I don't know if I shared it with you some time back, if you decide not to come to work, God will not wake you up, and neither Satan. So where's the power at that moment?
With yourself.
Now, that's how God created human nature. He gave us the power to create, the power to invent, or to have this innovation, So I can say this now. The gap which is there, it's like we've believed it to be there, despite of the world changing. Now, for me, I'm not saying I'm a prophet, but the world will not turn back. After COVID, what did the world or what did the people learn? Seriously, COVID taught us, and something that I learned, you cannot do one hustle. You cannot have one job.
Yeah.
If someone is there, okay, let's look at those who are making it or thriving in the business of Uganda today. You know the top 5. Let's look at Sudil. Does he really have one business? If he has one business, you prove it. You realize even those billionaires, the millionaires, they're juggling, meaning you're doing this, you're doing that,
Well,
you're doing the other.
Mm.
But again, at the end of the day, something I've learned, any business you're doing, and you can never give it time, meaning anything good that God has given you as a hustle. Let's say even this job you have here as a TV host. And let's say you come on Monday, tomorrow you don't come, the other day you don't come. So I'm talking about already consistency. And consistency also was written in the Bible. Let's see people who are there. Let's say today you pray, tomorrow you don't pray. The other day it's like you forgot. I'm telling you, prayerlessness or that life you live cannot be a life of a Christian. Now, you as the youth who is out there, to the old people, to the young, let's talk on all age brackets. You're not giving what you have time, you will cry.
You know, Jordan, whenever I talk to you and we have this discussion, especially in regards to Kyeyo and Uganda, actually, let's leave Kyeyo, let's focus on Uganda. Each time I talk to you about Uganda, you tend to see something that I do not see. And you are one of the most positive people about Uganda that I have met. Most people were like, no, this is not working. So I think I like that. But at the same time, I believe, Jordan, that there is such a thing as speaking from an advantage point of view. Like, it is really about perspective. Because you have traveled, you have perspective in that sense of you can compare, you've seen what is and what could be. But not very many people have that. We have people who, once they were born in Masaka, they have never left. All they know is Masaka. They've gotten married there. Their business is there. They've built a house there. And that is all the life that they know. So, and of course, we cannot put it on you or on them. But there is really such a thing as perspective, that wherever someone is from, they could be looking at it and there are no opportunities there. But let's look at the long haul here. Let's look at the long-term goals. Do you, when you were deciding and you said, you know, let me go, let me decide to leave China alone, let me start here, do you feel like Uganda can really meet the long-term goals as well? Because when it's easy to talk about the side hustles here while we are still youth, but then there is such a thing as after 65. So tell me about your own point of view in regards to that.
Recently, I joined a group of elders who have an investment club.
Okay.
Now, some of these elders are working in URA, these different entities that are big. Now, one of them is around not even 60, 58, but he has retired. How and why? He gave an example. So long as you're working also for somebody, it means you are adding to them, not to you. So, meaning wherever we are, what we are doing for other people, and I mean, like, for example, where I am teaching, it's not my school.
Yeah.
So I teach so that this additional money can push me into the other way of doing other businesses. Because some of the things I do, they require money. So you won't go to a bank and then you start up something.
Yes.
But meaning the salary you get from here can push your other own investment.
Yes.
Now, what does it entail also? It means for the longer term investment, someone needs to have a goal, like in the next 10 years. I have also someone who is like a brother, by the way, who kind of brought this advice. Is like, I want to reach a level whereby when I'm just 50 and I can get to my workplace at 10, whereby I get to my workplace at 2, and that's what I want. Not whereby you are 55 and you wake up at 5 a.m. to go to your job, even though it's your own. It means there is something you're struggling with at that moment. Because right now, I may not speak directly my age, but I'm on 3rd floor. So let's say by the time I reach on 5th floor, that's about 15 to 20 years from now, I believe I should be somewhere by these are the things that I was doing. There are people running them rather than me. So the plan is I should work hard now without any limit, without any doubt, to make it at whatever cost. But that one does not come easily. It comes with dedication, determination, consistency, and also with a vision. Despite of being here, because the question you said, let's focus here. Now, why wouldn't I also try to run away? One thing I've said, running away from Uganda, going to another place, it would mean I've accepted defeat. But again, I'm not saying those who are moving out of Uganda have accepted.
That have accepted, no.
So it reaches to a point whereby a few have reached to the corner, whereby you're like, biganye, like everything has failed.
Yeah.
I cannot make it anymore here. Let me just get money for the air ticket. It doesn't matter what I'm going to do. Let me go. Now, that's what I'm saying. You are going because you are stressed up here. But you're not going because you're saying, in the next 5 years, as I'm there, I should get this amount of money, and I use it to push me into the other life. I would appreciate people who go abroad, go out there, make the money you can make, whatever millions or whatever little or much it may be. But at least have a vision and be like, in the next 5 years, I should get this, or 10. Let me get this money, invest back home. And I can't advise people who are going abroad. Don't send money to your relatives. They will eat it.
Yes.
Make a way. Now, for example, in Asian countries, many of them, you realize what people do? They make their money, and then you send that money in form of goods. So let's say, in most cases, that money, you don't send it in a tangible way. Let's say here through banks or what, and they discourage that. There is no you're going to send out money on your account. They have to question you, how, why? So what do you do? Let's say, what I used to do before, I used to buy phones. Okay. Because they are cheaper there. You may find, for example, an iPhone 17 Pro is like 7M or 5.5, depending on the terabyte or let's say the megabytes you're having in there. But you find a phone you're buying here at 7M, it's 4M the other side. Whatever tax I pay at the airport or through URA, it may be like around 550 or 1M. But the profits I'm making, they're more. Let's look at an example. Let's look at downtown, because sometimes I'm always there. Let's look from Chikubo, whatever, but let me get to Mutasa and the streets around there and Kampala Road. Most of these people are selling mobile phones. Did you know that they are rich? Why do you think those people, they sell 3 pieces and they keep quiet? He's ready to pay rent, he's paying tuition for the kids, and he's feeding. It means there are certain businesses also that people should have ideas on. So as you're here, the question is, which projection do you have that can fit you in despite the situation, despite the hardships? Because we are complaining about the government, but can I tell you the reality? The government will not help you. The church will not help you, neither your family members.
Yeah, so
who should help you?
Kyeyo.
You yourself. No. I'm saying you yourself. So you have to wake up and be like, at whatever cost, let me make it. Now, there are sectors that can never fail. For example, I'm not saying this because I'm in some of them, but there is what we call the education sector. Let's look at the food sector, the health sector. Whether there is war in a country, maybe the education there can be affected, but those 3 sectors in any country, they will always thrive. Let's look at people who have pharmacies now, because now that is a trend. If you've realized, people have even shifted from clinics to a pharmacy. Now, when you have a headache, you don't go to a doctor. Before you go to a doctor and then you get consultation, just talking to a doctor, okay, let's say minimum 10K, 15, 20K, and then they say, yeah, you don't have malaria. It seems you have how do you feel? Even they ask you, how do you feel? Yeah, then they're like, this one needs a Panadol. You need this. But today, you realize you get sick, you get to a pharmacy. Yeah, people just... You know what to get. Oh, stomachache, you get some medicine. So, what am I trying to say? People should look out, as you look for these long-term goals you have, for savings and people should have a vision of what kind of sector they're to get in. Before you think of traveling out. Because when we look at the business sector, which I'm in, why can I not do only business? Why have I shifted also to get tapping into education and I'm telling you, for example, people who are dealing with kindergartens. Do you know that kids of kindergartens are paying more tuition than even secondary, than even primary? A kid is paying 1.2 in a kindergarten, and then you realize someone at a certain school secondary school, they're paying like 600. You're like, how come? So it means if you're looking at demographics of trying to have a goal, you're like, maybe you may not have the gift. That's what I'm talking about, that little capital you can get. So you need to have the right vision, the right purpose and mission to guide you through. Because
also exposure, because
also, yeah,
this information,
exactly.
not everyone has it.
Yeah, but also what opens up the mind, I can say also, it's when you move out, you get to appreciate where you're from.
Yes.
Now that can never happen also when you're in that massacre, that child, like the same village, same people, same place.
What did massacre? What did we do to
Okay,
you people?
not massacre, but whichever, okay, let's call of Raka, you're from Soroti, whichever place you're from, Kasese, where I come from. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. But when you move out of that, let's say place, you're from Fort, you've come to Kampala, that's enough exposure to push you and appreciate that, oh, wow, oh, this is what I can do. Yeah. But also, if you never have the belief in self and God, you cannot have the projection for the long term. Because now the long term comes in also when you have the self-discipline. Now also, discipline is part of what can help you to thrive in whichever place you are.
Okay.
Now, without discipline, you can never make it. So discipline pushes you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Jordan. But now, between you and I, even as we wrap up, has there ever been a time where you've regretted and you're like, maybe I should have stayed abroad because Uganda?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
No, thank you.
No, okay, no, a little bit. The reason to that. Now, let me look at a few reasons. When you're out there, what helps? You find a very big society from various countries. Okay. Meaning cultures that are different. Let's say you find a Gabonese, a Zambian, someone from Mozambique. So you're all in that nation. So what helps? You realize you create a family there, which is not like a family from your country. Yeah. Because so the Toya Gadis are out there. That's also some of the things. If you left here still and you went to China, to Asia, to Europe, you ask those who have been there, Ugandans will hide away from you. And that's also some of the disadvantages. Of course, I'm appreciating the other bit whereby you have other nations getting you. But your own, actually, the only nation I know that supports each other in every area, Nigerians. Those guys, even you've seen, their gospel music.
I think that's why they are banning them everywhere.
For me, on the other end, the appreciation is those guys, they pay on time. They will give you allowances. And also, if you have a skill, now a country like China, if you have a talent that is exceptional, they can give you residence, let's say permit. They don't give you citizenship. It's very hard. Even though you married one of them, they can never give you citizenship. But what I appreciate, if you have an exceptional talent, because back then I used to rap, I used to sing, so I was doing a lot. So I could go on in different provinces because of just rapping. But I was just doing some normal rap, but they were like, hey, this Black American. I was even a Black American. But they could pay you per hour. The kids I used to tutor, immediately you're done in 1 hour. The minimum, if you're good, $50. Now let's say you taught 3 kids in one space, meaning each parent is giving you 50-50. Yeah. That is $150 per hour. Okay, how about if you taught for 2 hours? In a day, not in a week. Yeah. So you get like your $300. You can calculate now on money, roughly like 1 point something. Now, let's say you did that for 2 days in a weekend in a row. You have money for accommodation, money for food. Then later on, if you're restricted to work, you can still go do your studies and you're quiet. Then another thing, as I conclude in that, the appreciation I have about different countries abroad, when you excel in your education, they give you a stipend. Literally, you're paid. So they appreciate what you're doing, your effort in education, which is rare here. Yeah. Here you pass, the best they can give you is a bursary. Now there they give you a bursary, you study for free, and then later on also they give you a payment, cash. Now, most of us, I know my parents may be watching, my mom and dad, I think they may hear this for the first time. They used to send us money for tuition. Remember, they've sent you tuition, you've passed very well, they've given also that money, and also you study, so you get double. So you realize also plus that you also have that little hustle you have aside, because before I started working. So you realize you're comfortable. And then 2, the exposure of knowing how developed countries operate. Yes. That was something unique. Actually, when you're there, and you come back, you may think places are smelly, they're not developed. You look at the roads, but then later on, I thank by the government for what they've done. If you look at Kampala 3 years back, 3 years back, you remember the potholes? Look at now how beautiful Kampala is.
Jordan, we shall not be talking about that, but you can come back tomorrow when you're talking about politics and we shall talk about that.
Right.
Thank you so much. It's been so nice having you. I love talking to Jordan because you are one of the people that I have met who have a point of view that is quite interesting from the young people that I always meet. So that's why I always love engaging you on such talks. So it's been so lovely having you. I don't know if you have, if I give you the mic again, but getting it back.
Teachers talk too much. But also I'm a preacher as well.
Any closing remarks anyway on that?
Closing remarks on this. Please, people who are out there, don't give up. Believe in yourself. If you have the plans to really travel out, travel. I can't really refute or deny you to do so. Have the exposure, know what is there. And I believe one day, one time, you'll appreciate where you come from. Because they cannot say, you cannot appreciate the far you've gone, not until you have a reflection of where you're from. So appreciate also firstly where you are. And also, as the Bible says, appreciate the little you have now. And what you have, hold it jealously. Because there is no better job than the job you have now. May God bless you. Have a good one. And Happy New Year to our viewer.
Happy New Year. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Jordan. And if you are watching us and you have any questions for Jordan, you can always use the number right below on your screen and we'll be able to forward them and respond to that. Now, Wide Awake is still going on all the way until the hour of 10 a.m. We'll go for a short break. When we return, Alex is joining me and we are doing all things current affairs.